everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm just going to start by saying a reminder to everyone that this YouTube channel is for people over the age of 13. My channel is for teen and adult collectors who, you don't have to be a collector. You can just like the stuff I like or enjoy watching my channel, but my channel is not for kids. I also wanted to thank everyone who watched my last video. I was very happy to see the kind comments and feedback I got. Today I'm going to be, well, first off, I'm going to introduce you to another one of my smart dolls who was not in my first video. This is my smart doll moment, who I have renamed Felicity, and she was my fourth smart doll. And today I'm going to be sewing a dress out of the basic t-shirt pattern, I believe it's what it's called, that Danny Choo has put on his website. Danny Choo, I don't know if you are aware of it or not, but he has put a lot of very nice patterns on his website that smart doll owners can use to make things for their dolls out of, which is very nice of him. I think it's a great way to get people sewing and you know, doing things with their hands and having fun. I've used a lot of his patterns before. My favorite one is his basic t-shirt pattern. I've actually drawn the sleeves on, because you see, what I like to do is get the patterns and mod them to make different things. I've sewed the basic t-shirt, you know, like the pattern was intended to sew. I've sewn dresses. That was actually what I used to sew this dress. And I might have sewn something else out of it as well, but that's the pattern I'm going to be modding today to make a beautiful springy dress out of this material I got at Joann's a couple of days ago. It will be like, I don't know if it would be like the best Easter dress, but maybe. So without further ado, I'm going to get into sewing the actual dress. Also, I wanted to, I don't want to think that, you know, like Danny Choo would stumble across my video. But Danny, if you are watching, thank you so much for releasing these patterns. I've had a great time sewing with them. And of course, thank you for creating smart dolls. I love all my dolls, and they've brought me so much joy. So now, for real, without further ado, let's get into the actual sewing. So here is where I drew, you know, modded the pattern a little bit. I know the sleeve's off a bit, but I can just fix that when I cut it. And I'm going to cut all the way down, and I'm going to cut out a little bit, and I'm going to, I'll show you the other part when I'm actually cutting on the fabric. So I'm going to cut the pattern out, and then I'll be back with y'all. Okay, so I've finished cutting the pattern out. Here it is. So one thing I was going to say is when you do this, you don't necessarily have to have a front and a back. You can use, you know, cut the same piece twice and use it. You just need to make this piece a tiny bit longer, so the dress will be even. But, you know, and two, when I do cut this, I'm going to make it a little bit longer than, you know, because I ran out of paper. So, the dress will be longer. I, changed the neck a bit because I wanted it to be, you know, not quite as a deep cut, since this is a little springy dress. And in the back, I'm probably going to cut, you know, an even smaller little neck part, or maybe even leave it completely, you know, I'll show you when I get there. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I'm not the best at explaining things. I feel like that's something that doing this YouTube channel and video will help me get better at, though. So that's good. All this will be a video of me, like, you know, sewing this dress. I'm not so sure how helpful of a tutorial it will be. So hopefully, if you can't, you know, get a tutorial out of it, you'll at least have fun watching it. And maybe it can give you some inspiration or some ideas to do some sewing of your own. So now I'm going to get to pinning the pattern to the fabric. So I have doubled the fabric, and I'm going to lay the dress on it. Okay, so whenever so this is like a knit fabric or a knit-like fabric. You know, you're going to want to make sure that you're sewing on the stretchiest side. So I've made sure of that. So always remember that when you're sewing. Time to put the pins in. Now that I have the dress pinned to the fabric, I can start to cut it out. There is, I just recommend whenever you pin things down to be careful not to accidentally poke yourself, and to make sure you have enough pins that when you're cutting the fabric, you don't accidentally cut too much or too little. I guess it's always better to cut too much than too little, because then you could go back and cut more, but you know what I mean. I started by cutting the rest of the fabric off other than the part I didn't need. So when I sewed the bottom of the dress, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut longer out from both sides. So, you know, like to make the dress longer. And I'll get back with you when I'm finished doing that. So I cut the dress out. Now I just have to cut the top part, and I'm going to tell you how I do that better. So what I do is I unpin the pins at the top, so I can only cut the front, because I want to leave this part there for the back, so it can be you know, those dresses that don't really have, like, you know, that part, they don't have a hole. There's not a hole there, you know, like you have the neck hole for your shirt. I don't know how to explain it. You'll see when I have the shirt sewed. Okay, so now I have the dress completely cut out. I trimmed up this part of it a little bit because there were a few places that weren't even, and I cut this part out. So now we can get it ready to go through the sewing machine. You can sew this type of stuff by hand, but if you have a sewing machine, it's much easier because that's much quicker. But I have sewn things like this before by hand. Although if you do sew something like this by hand, I recommend, excuse me, that was embarrassing. I recommend watching a TV show or an anime or something while you sew, because it can be quite time consuming. So what you want to do is flip the material where, see, I have to hold my phone with one hand, so it's much harder to do this. But you want to flip the material. So, hang on one second. Let me do it, then I'll explain it. Okay, so you're going to want to lay the material so you can sew it with the two ends that you want to be, you know, that have the pattern on them. Like this. You want to sew the two, you know, the two bad sides, so you can see the good pretty side, and all of the not so pretty stitches will be on the inside of the dress, so you won't see them on the outside. You're going to want to pin the dress down in a few places. I usually just do a few, but you can do more. It's whatever you prefer to do, and then we can start the actual sewing. So now I have the dress completely pinned, and I'm with my sewing machine, and I'm ready to start sewing. Felicity, your new dress is going to be so pretty. So I like to start on the end of the dress, and I sew my way up. So I don't really know how well I can show myself sewing, but I'm going to try my best. Okay, so I'm ready to start the sewing. What you're going to do is you're going to first, already let the presser foot down. Sorry, the camera keeps not focusing well. So you're going to want to do your first few stitches, like that. Then you're going to want to go over here, and do the back stitches. So your sewing doesn't come undone. Then you can sew, sorry, the camera won't focus, the way you want to. Just sew up the dress, make sure you leave a little hem, and you're going to keep doing this until you sew the entire dress. When you get to the end of the sleeve, you're going to want to do the back stitching again. Then you can cut off what you've sewn, and you can start sewing the other side of the dress. I did the exact same thing for the other side of the dress as I did for the first side. Now I can sew the sleeves and I'll be done. Before you move on to this part, I would recommend making sure you didn't miss any stitches anywhere. Now you probably can't see that, but because if you did, you need to go back and fix that little place, because if not, it will more than likely come unsewed. Okay, so I finished sewing the dress, and now we can turn it the right way and we can see how it looks. It's hard to look at it that good when it's not on a doll, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it's going to be really pretty. Shall we try it on, Felicity? And here's the final project. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I really love the fabric. I think it looks really pretty on Felicity. I think next time I might try to make it a bit flowier, but I really like how it did turn out. And I have a lot of fabric left, so I can maybe even make maybe 3 to 5 more dresses and definitely a few shirts. I think all of my dolls would love this fabric. Hopefully I can make, sorry, my phone gave me a weird notification. Sorry. But anyway, hopefully I can make some more things out of this fabric soon. So, thank you for watching. I know this was very, probably not the best video, but I'm still learning. This type of thing's I've never really been the best at this kind of stuff, but I'm having a lot of fun doing my channel. I have had someone who really wants me to make some YouTube videos about my dolls' stories and their characters. I do really want to make a video about that. I also have some photo stories about my dolls I would like to post, but I gotta figure out how to make a slideshow and upload it to YouTube. So hopefully I can do that sometime soon. I also want to make a Valentine's video about my dolls soon because Valentine's is next week. It's next Tuesday actually, which is crazy. It's already well, for me, I'm filming this video on the 8th of February 2023. So it's crazy. Time's gone by so fast. So definitely Felicity will be needing her spring dress soon. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to say or if I can go ahead and end this video. I don't think there is anything else I can say, but thanks again for watching. I had a lot of fun sewing this little dress, and I really hope you got some entertainment out of this. Hopefully I can see y'all in my next video soon. Take care and have a great day. Bye for now.